I couldn't start the video without you, Lee.
Why?
Because this is one of the best moments of the day. What are you making?
Hot chocolate.
No. It's not hot chocolate
Ask
at
a
all.
silly question, get a silly answer.
Is working? No.
Oh,
yes, the light is on. Hola, hola.
Oh, baby. Madre
Look
mia.
at that. This is the epic Bailey's Tipton coffee. Or Tipton's Bailey's coffee. How will you call that?
Oh, God.
Cheers. I'm here because, without wanting to promote anything, because actually I'm going to tell you the story about this wine because it needs to be in this recipe. I'm making the Christmas cookies of my Nana. In Spain, we call them Roscos de Vino, that translated to English would be something like wine shortbread cookies, because they're like a kind of a shortbread. They're very crispy and very crumbly. And of course, we use a lot of fat for this, for these cookies. I've never published the recipe online because it's a family recipe. But today, I am gonna share this recipe because the world needs to know the recipe of these amazing cookies. And it's not just a Christmas cookies, it's a family cookie. And every year when I make these cookies, to me is like a whole process and a way of connecting with my grandma, which is not with us anymore, and which was the creator of this recipe. And until she went away, she was making them for the whole family. I think she probably made every year more than 300 cookies for sharing with everybody. And I know you don't like people to talk a lot on the videos, on the recipe videos, but this is not just a recipe, it's a storytelling. And it's a story about my family, about the roots, and about why these cookies were made back then. So let's dip into the story. First of all, these cookies are famous or well-known in the south of Spain. My grandma was from Granada, from a little village in the mountains. And my parents moved from Granada. Well, my Nana and my grandpa moved from the south to Barcelona when my father was 18 years old, I think, or they started living there. Of course, they came to Barcelona for work. Back then, on those years, the south had not a lot of industry. And there was a lot of people from the south moved into Catalonia. So my family was one of them. And my Nana brought all her traditions into the family. And this was one of them. These cookies used to be baked in the village oven. Each village in the south of Spain used to have like a communal oven where the bread was made, and all the women used to gather together and bring their cookies to bake during a day. And of course they used to bring big batches so they could bake cookies for the whole family during Christmas time. And of course was made with very cheap ingredients, because back then the ingredients were not available as right now. And they used to use very basic ingredients. So the basic of these cookies is flour, wine, white wine, olive oil, the cheapest and softest that you can get, and lard. Lard. I know it's gonna sound like all the fitness people are gonna say, oh, Aida, this is so much fat. It has so much bad things. No, because this is only the base of the recipe. The secret ingredient is on the top when we finish, which I'm of course going to walk you through it. Icing sugar that we're going to need to decorate the cookie, because the cookie is dipped in sugar, literally. And we're going to make also a syrup to dip the cookie in it before we put the sugar. But that's the process. It's very easy, very simple. You don't need to be a master to prepare these cookies. The only thing is a long process. So, please, I'm sure you have at least 2 days, because you could do it in 2 days, but 3 days allow to make this. I make a big batch because as my nana, is a way for me to say Merry Christmas to all the people I love, and I make loads of these cookies for Christmas. So I share with the people, my family and everybody. So I allow 3 days to make these cookies. The first day I make the dough, it goes on the fridge, it settles. The next day I make the baking in the oven, it settles for another day because I like them to cool them down totally. And then the next day I'm gonna go for the icing, which is the last bit of the icing that I'll show you and explain you how to do it. But before I take another sip of my incredible coffee, let's dip into the how to. We're gonna mix in the same quantities white wine, olive oil and lard. You're gonna say to me, and you're gonna ask, Aida, can I use any healthier ingredients? No, because it wouldn't be my nana's cookies anymore. This is how she used to make them, and I kept the recipe as it is. The only thing I experimented other years is with the flours. I made a batch, which was not bad actually, and I used a little bit of a spelt in between the normal flour, and actually it gets a nice crunch on it. So I'm gonna use a spelt flour a little bit in this batch too, but mainly the base ingredients like the white wine, Don Simon. I've always used this brand. It's very typical in Spain. It's like this table wine, very cheap wine that we use for cooking basically. And you can use any cheap wine you can get, cooking wine, you know. But it used to be the one more popular here in Spain. We use Don Simon for cooking. Olive oil. I'm using olive oil soft. You have, I don't know if you know a lot about oils, but in Spain we have like grades. We have the extra virgin oil, I'm gonna show you. That's the one I usually use. That it's from another type of olives, very good quality, in crystal, extra virgin oil. That's the one I usually use for salads, for preparing daily food. For my toast or for whatever I use extra virgin oil, cold press, which is the highest quality. Then we have this one, which is olive oil, but low intensity. It's only, we have it like maximum of 5 in Spain. This is the second, so level 2. And this mainly we use it for cooking too. So if we're baking or we're doing anything, it's also extra virgin, but it's less intense. So it's a little bit less flavor, because if we would use this, it would have too much taste and add too much taste to the cookies, and we want something soft. So if you don't have olive oil available in your country, you can use sunflower oil. A soft sunflower oil would be also do. My nana used to use sunflower oil, but I changed it to olive oil because to me it's like a tribute to our country and to our olives. So I like to use mild olive oil. And then the ingredient I never use for anything besides making these cookies is lard. So you can get lard anywhere, in the supermarket, in a butcher's. So just lard, plain lard. I like filtered lard, so the one it's clean and pure. It doesn't have any salt on it or anything, just the taste of the pure lard. and we're going to use it in the same quantities, okay? And I'm going to use a bread mixer. You can mix this by hand too, but the machine helps a lot. So I recommend you the machine. And it's going to be as easy as just adding the lard in its container. I'm making a couple of batches, so I'm going to use the first lot with the olive oil, and I love it. It smells so nice. I just love olives. So I use the same container as the lard to measure the olive oil. Don't get scared. It's a lot of olive oil. But who doesn't love a good olive oil? Okay. And after that, the wine. And we're going to use the same quantity again to soften. I like to put it on the microwave and I let it soften a little bit. Make sure you take all the bits out so it doesn't explode in the microwave. And that's it. And here, such easy as just keep adding flour until you get a nice dough and all nice and mixed. Usually, for what I use now, a kilo of flour will have it, but it depends on your batch. So just keep it. I'll show you how it looks like, or how it should look like. But you have to remember, there's a lot of fat in there. And before I add everything, I'm gonna just give it a good mix. I'm gonna add also some of the spelt flour. You see, I put in this container is 250 grams of lard, so it means that we have put 250 grams of wine and 250 of olive oil. So for each 250 grams of lard, usually I use a kilo of flour with a little bit of the spelt flour. And I'll show you in a minute how it looks. It's starting to look nice there. I'm gonna add here a little bit of the spelt flour, which will make it nice. I use the white spelt flour. You have different, you have the wholemeal and the white. I use the white in this case because I like the cookies to be nice and white. And you just add until you see that the dough is starting to get nice and dry. Not too much, because you have to remember that then we're going to bring this into the fridge and it's going to settle. This is how we like it. This is the nice texture. So, my Nana always said that the dough, you know it's ready when it's not sticky, so that you can touch it with your hands. is a little bit sticky still, so I'm gonna add a tiny bit of spelt flour. My nana always used to say too that the dough talks to you. So you just need to keep feeding it until it has enough. That's when you know you have added enough flour. To me, a sign that you have added enough flour is when it starts separating from the sides. You see that it's starting to separate? Now I'm going to show you when you touch it. You see it comes very easy out of the... It's not sticking anymore, you see? It comes very easy out without having to pull too much. And when you touch it, it's just oily, you see? It doesn't stick too much, because now this is going to settle for a few hours in the fridge, and we're going to keep it there for a few hours until it gets hard and nice and the gluten has done its job and it has settled. I'm so happy when I do this. It's just, you know, it's like my nanas is always in the kitchen when I do this. And I know to many people would seem like, Aida, why are you doing this? Well, my nana's cookies were the best. And still every year when I eat them, it's like that first bite to me is just to die for. You see? Boop. It falls by itself and it's all clean. That's the point you want. And I'm gonna mix another one. It's just amazing. So I'm gonna cover this. And we're gonna put it in the fridge till it's set. The next bit, super easy, is the juice of the gods, I call it, which is just water. I'm gonna make plenty. Sugar, cinnamon sticks, and you must be thinking, Aida, so much sugar. Yes, so much sugar. And probably it will be even more. Orange. Who doesn't want orange in winter? I just love the orange. Spanish oranges from Valencia. You know, it's not that I want to say it too loud, but I think Spain has probably one of the best ingredients in the world. And we love to use them. Our oranges, our olive oil. Actually, fruit in general. We have amazing cherries too, and pears. And lemons. My sister has a lemon tree at home, and it's just to die for the lemons that tree makes every year. And I enjoy a lot making things for my sister too with those lemons. Cinnamon sticks, always. I think I'm gonna put all of it. I love cinnamon, and this, it's amazing cinnamon. And I'm gonna use, here they are, stars. Anise, 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 anise. I put 3 of them. A big one. Oh, I love them. It wouldn't be Christmas without them. And I am, where did I put it? Ah, here. Cardamom. I don't know if you ever use cardamom, but cardamom is so nice. And it has a lot of good properties. And I use a lot of cardamom always. And last but not least, cloves. A lot of cloves. I love clove. Oh. Oh my God. I love it. This is like potions. Potions, pocus, potions. Making potions. And we're gonna boil this. And I'm making this 2 days before. Why 2 days before? Because it infuses. It needs to boil now until the sugar is melted. And once the sugar is melted, then we can let it just infuse. We put it in the fridge and we're gonna use that as the elixir of the gods to cover our cookies. This is to die for. I have to show you this. I'm gonna put it here. This is the juice of gods. The juice of gods. Baby.
Smells like a Christmas potion.
Yeah, it's my Christmas potion.
Smells nice.
It's nice, eh? This is the juice of the gods that surrounds us, the cookies. The dough is made.
Very good.
The dough is made, so I'm gonna leave you here until part 2. Good morning to another day. Today is day 2. So the dough has been resting in the fridge for the whole night. And now I'm gonna make little balls of 62 grams. I always make them 62. I don't know why. It's something I've been doing for years. But you can make it just because you want. And I've already got 2 lots, one in the oven, one outside of the oven, and I already tried them because this year I have experimented with the flours. So the first lot I did it with strong flour for bread, mixed with spelt flour and mixed with type 00 flour. So 3 types of flour. And actually I must say the combination is amazing. And I just put a little bit the same quantity of each of them. And this second lot I'm doing now is my usual lot, the one that we prepared yesterday with normal all-around flour and the spelt flour on it. So I'm again here with my coffee. Day 2, remember, I always let the dough rest for at least 24 hours in the fridge. And now I'm going to make the shape of the cookies. The traditional is round, but you can really make whatever you like. I like these donut type forms because they're the ones that my nana used to make. And actually, when I was little, I used to help them doing it when she was making them. And we would be at her house just rolling the dough. And it would be so fun. She would make so many. But anyway, the thing is now, after making the little cookies, we're gonna put it in the oven at 180 degrees for around 20 to 25 minutes. It depends each oven. I have a very bad oven, to be honest. It's very difficult to keep good temperature on that oven, and I have to keep checking on them. You don't allow them to toast too much. You just want them golden brown. But I tend to leave them a little bit more white than brown. I like it, that white color on the cookies. And they should look like this. This is how the cookies look. And we're gonna let them settle for another 24 hours for day 3. That's why I always say it takes me a little bit long, but I love it because this way I can get the best results, taking step by step. I've got my juice here. This is the gold juice, and the sugar, because I already tried one. I cheated, but I needed to see the texture of this new mixture that I've been experimenting. I'll leave everything on the description box so you see the 2 types of dough. This second dough, this is the second lot I did. It looks more like shortbread, and I like it, the texture. It just melts into your mouth, and it's lovely, really lovely. And this second lot, I'm gonna see how it turned out. This should be turned out like every year because it's all round flour that I have been using for most of the years. This year I started experimenting with bread, so I had different types of flour, and I thought, why don't give it a try and experiment? And I read in some blogs that this type of cookies people uses also like half mix of strong flour with all-purpose flour, half and half. So I thought, I got the type 00, which gives also this nice texture. And I thought, I'm gonna use a spelt, strong flour, all round flour, and the type 00. So I just made a nice mix, and it turned out really nice, to be honest. I'm very proud of it. We are on the 3rd day, and one of my favorites, of course, because is where the magic happens, and we turn this dough into something magic with this incredible juice, which for me is the most important thing of these cookies. It's just Christmas smell. I have it 2 days infusing, and I just now thawed it out, and I left the juice inside. Gonna move it. Just realized we should move it because the ingredients will mix better. Oh God, it's just amazing. So nice. I mean, this could be even nice as a tea. And I've got the icing sugar. I would put a good amount of sugar. And we'll start. We get the cookie. We dip it in the juice of the gods, a good dip. And then we just go. You have to be very gentle. Just to cover it up in sugar. I know what you're thinking. Because they have punish so much sugar that nowadays it's like people see sugar and it's like, oh, the enemy. But it's not the enemy. Once a year. It's just beautiful, nice tradition. And you can eat as much sugar as you want. Of course, if you don't have a bad sickness. Then I'll give it a gentle touch. I like to take a little bit the excess and we put it in a tray because this needs to just rest. And we'll go to the next one. We just flip it and on sugar, gentle. We cover it up, let the juice do the secret. That's why I like to put a lot, because then the cookie it works by itself. It absorbs what it needs. And then I just give it a gentle touch. You have to be very gentle when doing the icing. And this is how we would spend our afternoons with Nana, icing the cookies. But to be honest, when I was little, I was just waiting those ones to dry to eat them. I just wanted to actually, I have to be honest, because yesterday I already tried it. I had to try it. And more after doing a new lot, you know, that I used different flours, as I told you. I wanted to see the difference, if it made any difference. And actually, having mixed flours, I have achieved a really nice and crispy dough that I really enjoy. So if you can mix flours, just do it. Experiment a little bit. At the end of the day, I always say these kind of recipes. My Nana never left a recipe to us. She just explained it, how to do it. She never talked about quantities. She never talked about types of flours, or she never talked. The only thing she mentioned is use the cheapest wine you can find and the cheapest olive oil you can find. So that's the only thing she said. About flour, I don't have any memories of using a particular flour, but I guess she always used the all-around flour. But I cannot assure that. I will have to ask my auntie maybe. She knows maybe better. Oh God, this smells so nice. You have no idea. This smells like Christmas. That's why I love to do them. Because to me, it's like Christmas at home. So now you can imagine, I'm going to be here for a few hours. Of course, I'm not going to be talking all the hours I'm recording because you're going to be sick of me. But I'll show you the final result, how I present them to bring them to my family members. Because of course, my father is already looking forward for it. My sister, I cannot begin to tell you how much she wants them. And next week, I'm going to just bring them to them. They'll last good the whole Christmas. I mean, they have a lot of fat, so the fat will just protect the cookie. And they don't have any dairy or any eggs, so you don't have to keep them in the fridge or anything. At home, they will be always on the table. So in the morning when you wake up, you would just go for them. We would have them on a dish and they would be always ready for us. But I think I'm gonna let it go here. I'm very happy I did this video. I'm gonna show you the final result so you can see how amazing they look in a nice dish. But try them. Try them. It's a long process. I like to do it like this. I mean, I'm sure you can do it in a day. But I like to let them cool. I like to work with them when they're very cool. And I like to let them rest also before I eat them, at least a few hours, so the sugar really gets hard, because it's nice and crispy then. And that's what makes these cookies amazing, the crispiness of the sugar. So don't be afraid of using sugar, please. Do not. It's Christmas. It's once a year. Enjoy it without guilt. And remember that there's never going to be the same Christmas again without the people you love. And the only thing we have left from them is their traditions and their recipes. So Merry Christmas. Look at that.